Namaskar. Let us talk about evolution of consciousness. We are human beings. That means that physically we are the most evolved organism on the planet Earth. This is very big luck that we have achieved the human body. But in human body, different stages of consciousness may exist. Some people may resemble an animal psychology, some people they have human psychology, and some people have divinity. They have achieved, they have manifested divinity in their mind, in their consciousness, in their body, in their words, in their actions, in their everything, in their perceptions. So let us talk about the stages and how to move from one stage to another stage. Tantra, ancient teachings, the core spirituality explains that there are three stages. They are called Pashu Bhava, Vira Bhava, and Divyabhava. Pashu means underdeveloped being. Pashu means an animal. A human being having an animalistic psychology. What is animal psychology? Animal psychology is priority towards sensual pleasures. Enjoy the senses. Experience the physical experiences. Travel the world, eat different food, and also priority to the ego. So for such person, when he lives or she lives in the world, he feels, I exist, only I exist. And this world is my playground. This world is there to satisfy my needs. This is the stage of consciousness. There is no any spirituality, there is no inner guidance, there is no inner motivation. Person purely is motivated by external pressure. So such person, the Pashu, the person who is in the stage of Pashu Bhava, he is doing things out of fear or because he wants to get reward. Either desire or fear or shame. These are the motivations, purely external motivations. At the next stage, Vira Bhava, there are both. One motivation is external, there is a pressure from outside, and another motivation is internal. That such person feels inner calling. I need to do something. I must do something. That person is called hero. Vira means hero. So for Pashu, what is the recipe for the constructive life? There is no good or bad here. All Pashu, Vira and Divyabhava people, they can be good. They can be bad also. Of course, Divyabhava cannot be bad. But Pashu, of course, can be bad or can be good. So for Pashu, very important, and for Vira also, very important to have a good environment, to have a good external pressure. Because inside, there is no guidance. That guidance is completely covered, completely concealed. So it is important to have a good pressure, to have a good stimulations from the world. Be in such a state, that's why it is said, Satsangena bhaven muktir, asatsangeshu bandhanam. It means good company leads to liberation and bad company leads to greater bondage. So for the Pashu, the most important practice is satsanga. Be in a good company. Emulate a good person, the person of the highest standard, who has already discovered the inner guidance. So, how the Pashu moves into Vira? When there are questions appear in the mind, who am I? What is my purpose? What am I to accomplish in this life? What am I to do in this world? What is my calling? What should I do? What is my destiny? What is my duty? So when the person starts to ask these kind of questions, those questions, they transform mentality from Pashu, animal, into Vira, heroic person. So then there will be both inner understanding, inner truth, and the external pressure. And sometimes the external pressure is bad, but then the Vira goes against that external pressure. He is special. He is the white crow. He is the black swan in the society. So he feels the calling, or she feels the calling, and he climbs to the next stage of evolution, because there is inner guidance. So ideology is very important in life. Spiritual ideology is this. That's why my spiritual master, he asked the disciples, he said, what is the best thing? What is the luckiest thing? And then people gave different versions. He said the best thing in life is to have an ideology. That's the luckiest thing, because the ideology will guide you towards the higher and higher achievements of life. And the yogic ideology was propounded first by Sadashiva, the first master. He said, Atma mokshartam jagat hitacha. Achievement of the liberation for the soul. The soul is bound by the enemies and fetters of the mind. The soul is bound by anger, by lust, by greed, by attachment, by jealousy, by pride, by fear, by shame, and so on and so on. So achieving that freedom for the soul, for the consciousness, is the goal of life. And Jagat Hitayacha, serving the welfare of the entire universe. That is the purpose of life. That's the destiny of every human being. So if you think very, very deeply, if you ponder upon it, what am I to do? You will logically and intuitionally, by the feelings, you will come to this understanding that I am to achieve liberation of my consciousness and I am to do the service to the world. So this is the, if you introspect and you look inside, you will find this ideology which is everywhere in all of us. So Vira comes out of Pashu, and also spirituality is different for Pashu and Vira. For Pashu, the God is merciful being, which is just gives, bestowers of grace. He gives you whatever you need. You ask him something, he will give you. Oh God, please help that my daughter will get good marriage. Oh God, please give me good health. So this is the stage of Pashubhava, and for such people, God is Pashupati, God of animals, merciful, kind. Then in the stage of Virabhava, the God is not kind. Of course, he is kindness itself, but in his kindness, he is also very cruel, because he will push you, just like a bird will throw out the child out of the nest, and the child, that small little bird, will have to fly. Will have to fly and find the strength in their own wings. So in the same way, Vireshwar, the divinity of that stage, pushes you out beyond your limits for you to discover a new dimension of life. So that's a new, a new stage in life. And you address the divine entity like this. You say that, oh Supreme One, I don't ask that you should relieve me from my trouble, but I ask for the strength for me to overcome my trouble. I ask the strength and I ask the wisdom and guidance so I can solve all my problems. That's the stage of Virabhava. You achieve the ideology, you are moving in that. Then finally comes the stage of Divyabhava. Divyabhava, divine stage. It is said that first there is a stage of Pashubhava, then Virabhava, And Vira Bhava Sada Prapya means if you have achieved permanence in your Vira Bhava, you are listening to your voice, to your inner voice. You follow that inner voice. When you introspect, you find something in you, some inspirations. But then to fulfill that inspiration, there are so many bondages, so much fear, so many just like, you know, I want. No. This may not happen. Oh, it's only for the great people. Complexes of inferiority comes. They bind you. You're fighting against those complexes. So this stage is the intense internal fight. You're fighting internally and externally because the world is not understanding. The world is rather trying to stop you, trying to block your development. So you're fighting internally, you're fighting externally also. Then Divyabhava. To move to the stage of Divyabhava, there are actions, important actions. 3 actions are very important. Sadhana, spiritual practice, service, selfless actions for the welfare of others. You know, Pashu is constricted with this idea of egoism. I only do things for myself. Either I do out of fear or I want to get some reward, and there is no other motivations. What is the best way to break that kind of pattern in the mind? Is to deliberately practice something in which you don't expect anything in return. That's how you break it. That's why service is so important. You practice it every day. You find the way to practice the service. Oh, okay, not every day, at least every 3 days, or at least once a week. Something that you do without expecting anything in return. And if you do it regularly, slowly, you break that animality. You come out of that stage of animality. So service is so important. Sadhana. Sadhana is the spiritual effort. You try to uplift your consciousness. And in that upliftment, you touch the inner world of your soul. There you get the guidance. There you get the knowledge. There you get the brightness, the clarity, the inspiration. So sadhana is so important. Sacrifice. Sacrifice. You are moving on the stair, on the ladder. So to place your foot from this ladder, from this step, come to the higher step, you need to let go of this one, of the lower one, and to go on the next one. So sometimes to achieve something higher, we need to let go of something which is more archaic and more primitive. So this spiritual movement entails some amount of sacrifice, of letting go things. I let it go. And I know that there is no emptiness in the world. If I let go of this, I will get this. And if I will let go of this, I will get this. So it is ever upward movement. But without sacrifice, it is impossible. If you get attached and just hold on what you have become attached to, you cannot expand. So sadhana, service, and sacrifice. Sacrifice is when you sacrifice something which is dear to you for the achievement of progress for yourself and for others. So we sacrifice our energy, we sacrifice our resources, sacrifice our time, so many things. To let go of something smaller to achieve something higher. This is the sacrifice. So sadhana, service, and sacrifice. With all this, you cultivate Divyabhava, the stage of heroic flow of the mind. And then but still not enough. It is said that Bhagavat Kripayava Mahat Kripayava Bhagavat Kripa Lishadva. It means person progresses through the blessings of the great people and with a tiny small drop of grace of the Divine Supreme. This is what we need. The grace of the Guru, the grace of the God, the grace of the evolved personality. That evolved personality awakens in us the feeling of Dharma, the feeling of the path, the desire for the liberation. So it is important also to maintain a good company, find people with a highly evolved consciousness, and to have a guru. To have a guru who can bless you and you can fly. So these are the stages of consciousness, and Divyabhava is characterized by state of oneness. You have achieved absolute goodness. There is no separations anymore. There is no I and them. Everything just became one. And you find yourself, you are just a part of the cosmic harmony. And in that harmony you know your role, you know your place, you know your mission, and you are extremely happy. That is what Divyabhava is. There is no anymore inner struggle. All the struggle has been complete. Only external struggle. Of course, the person with the divine consciousness will always be met with criticism, with opposition, and so on and so on. But that means nothing for such divine being, because he just knows his purpose, what he must do, and does it. So we are aiming there. That's the supreme desideratum. The supreme desideratum is the supreme truth, actually, but being in a state of Divyabhava, you achieve that. So we are moving there. Yeah. So we need to do sadhana, we need to do service, we need to be ready for sacrifice, for letting go, and also very, very important, especially in the initial stages, always it is very important, to have a good company. To have a good company, to be around spiritual people, to be around people who are inspired with inner inspiration, who have ignited the spark of consciousness in them. Such people, they will help your own liberation. So, thank you very much. Namaskar.